welcome to my kitchen. It has been a crazy busy weekend. We've had snowstorms and extremely cold temperatures, so I'm running a little behind on my 12 days of baking, but today we are going to be making bread, and I'm going to be using the everything seasoning in the bread. So let's get started. I'm going to start with 4 cups of flour here. I'm going to be making 2 loaves, or I might make 1 loaf into buns so that I can use the buns in my husband's lunch this week. 2, 3, and 4. Okay, I'll get this out of the way. My salt here. Get the salt open. Hold up. Hey, don't mess with the door. I'll get it. It's frozen. Turn the porch light off, please. There we go. A full teaspoon of salt. I don't think you can see me doing that. Gonna get this mixed in there. And before I got started, I took 1 cup of filtered water, 1 cup of milk, warmed them up, and then I put 2.5 teaspoons of yeast and just a little pinch of salt, or sugar, not salt, sugar in here. And I've let it's getting all foamy and bubbly, so I'm going to pour this in and get this mixing. Get all that yeasty goodness out of here. I have butterfingers today. Apparently I keep dropping everything. All right, I'm gonna get this to mixing. I'm gonna get my bowl locked in. All right, oh, that's looking good. I let this mix for about 5 minutes. I like to give it a little hand knead. You all know that. Get my bowl unlocked here. Move this out of the way. And I'm actually going to use my everything seasoning kind of like an inclusion because I want it mixed in the dough. Bowl is clean. I'm going to put a little oil in here. Over there. I'm going to knead this just a minute. And then I'll kind of stretch it out and sprinkle it with my everything seasoning here. Just kind of flatten it out a little bit. And they will mix in as the dough rests and it starts to rise. All right. I like it on the top, but I also like it mixed in my bread. I think it tastes good that way. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some in here. Fold it over. I do the same thing when I do my onion bread. I like my onion and cheddar. I like it mixed in there. I'm just gonna put some in here as well. And it'll just give the bread a little bit of flavor. All right. And then when I'm ready to bake it, I will brush it with an egg wash and sprinkle some on top. But my dough is ready. I'm gonna put it in here, cover it, and then let it sit for about an hour before I'm ready to work with this. All right, we'll be back. My dough has risen here, as you can see. I'm actually looking for my oil here. I'm just going to put a little oil down on the countertop. Pretty clean release. Looks good. Because I'm going to be making one loaf and then some buns, I'm going to divide this. They're about equal sizes. I will cover one with my plastic wrap while I'm working on the other. So I have sprayed a loaf pan, and now I'm going to just get my bread kind of shaped here. I'm just gonna work it out into a rectangle. You can see some of the seasoning in the dough. So now we're just gonna roll it up. Tuck it and roll. I'm gonna try and get it roughly the same size all the way across. Sometimes it doesn't want to do that, but it's a neat thing about homemade bread. It will do what it wants. This end looks like it's going to be a little wider than the other end. All right, I'm going to get this in my, got a greased baking dish. I've whisked up an egg. I'm just going to brush this all over here. Sprinkle on my seasoning. All right. And this is ready to rest in a warm spot again. Now my other dough here. I'm going to make it into a few rolls. I'm going to divide it in half. Divide it in half. I want these to be kind of big because I am making almost like a hamburger bun. So we're just going to roll these down into a ball. Flatten my buns out. I want them to go more to the side and then top. So just give them a little press down. Take my egg wash, just brush over the top of them. These won't take as long for a second raise as my loaf of bread, but I do want them to get a little bit puffy. So we are going to let these rest for roughly a half hour. I'll see how it goes, while the loaf here will probably take a full hour. But like I said, I'm going to set them in a warm place. It may be a little faster. I'm going to cover these and we'll be back. I just pulled the bread out of the oven. It's still nice and hot, but it's got a nice sound. I checked the bottom and the bottom sounds like the top. I also have the buns here, lightly golden on the bottom, soft, looking beautiful. Thank you for joining me today, and happy baking.